you ever been in a situation like this? Where you bust a hole in your wall? Well, listen here. I can help you. So today, what we're gonna do, man, is I got this board, this 4x8 piece of drywall. I have textured it, and I have painted it, and I have set it up in a way where I could teach you how to fix this hole repair. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do today. I'm gonna show you all the tools and everything that you're going to need to do this yourself. And if you can't do it yourself, or if you give it a try and it doesn't work out, you can always call me and I'll come out and fix it. 530-321-1592. That's my phone number. Know me as Chico's favorite painter. SM Painting is the company. Don't ever forget that. But anyways, guys, okay, look, that's the situation, okay? This happens to a lot of people, man. This drywall, it's only 1/2-inch drywall. It's not that thick. And if you have kids in the house, man, they rest, boom, you know what I mean? One little elbow to the wall, they could put it in there. Or you have a badass kid and they punch the wall, that could happen too. And I can fix it, man. Either you can fix it yourself or I can come out and I can fix it for you. So give me a second, man. I'll get all my tools together and get it prepared. I will also give you a way to purchase this stuff that you need on a less expensive scale. The stuff that I use obviously is going to be more expensive because I use it often. So I need, you know, the best of the best. But I could also put in the description some tools that you can get from either Harbor Freight or Home Depot, like some plastic mud knives or some very inexpensive mud knives that you can purchase to get this job done for, I don't know, less than $100. If you call me, it's gonna be a little bit more expensive because, like I said, I got the proper tools to do it and I gotta pay for those expenses. So anyhow, let's get this done. I'll get the stuff together and we'll be back just a second, okay? Okay, here we go. So I got all the stuff together that is going to be needed to do this hole repair. I'll show you some of the tools, but it's not necessary that you need to have these specific tools. I'm gonna cheaper it down, if that makes sense, and I'm gonna find the stuff that will be easier for you to do. So first, I'm gonna have this is going to be to cut out the drywall. Okay, I can cut that out. Okay, but if you don't have these, because it's pretty expensive, if you don't have one of these, you could always use a razor knife and you can cut the drywall out with a razor knife. Okay, so number one, you need some way somehow to cut this out, because you're gonna have to put a square, make a square, and you're gonna have to cut that out. Okay, so either a razor knife, which is 75 cents, or you can go get one of these tools. It's always a good excuse to go buy them. So, or you can buy one of these. Okay, so that's the first thing you'll need, a way to cut it out. Okay, also what you'll need is a 1/2-inch drywall, piece of drywall. Okay, this is a cut off from a 4x8 piece, because I got many hole repairs to do, so I've always got something on hand. But at Home Depot, you can go in there and they upcharge you, and they sell you, I think it's a 2x2 piece of drywall already cut in a square. You can get that. You can cut a piece out that will fit this. So that's also another option. I'll put that in the description so you can click on it and see exactly what I'm talking about. So you'll need something to cut it out. You'll need something to put back in there, okay? Next, you'll need these 1x2 or something like that. I can't remember what they are. They're sticks. They come in 8 feet or 6. They come in 8 feet? I think they come in 8 feet. Okay, big old sticks. Let me show you, see if I have one. You also can get these from Home Depot. Okay, so you'll need one of these, okay? Or any kind of scrap wood that you have laying around the house, honestly. But these are pretty inexpensive. I think they're like, I don't know, $3 or something for an 8-foot piece, okay? Once you get that, you're gonna cut it down. What you're gonna do with these, you're gonna use these as backer. So once you cut this hole out, this square, you're gonna put this behind the drywall. You'll put a screw on one side, up on the bottom, just like this. And then that's what you'll attach your square to, your new piece of drywall. You'll attach it to that. I'll show you when that time comes. So, excuse me, you'll need 2 of these. And obviously you'll need 4 drywall screws, okay, to fasten it in. Well, actually you need a couple more. You'll need 4 of these. Yeah, you'll need 6 of them, so you can fasten 6 or 8 or whatever to fasten all this together. Okay, so that's that. You'll also need a drill. You'll need a drill or a screwdriver to be able to drill this in, drill those screws in, okay? You'll also need a mud pan, a mud knife, and a smaller knife to scoop up and mix inside there, okay? You'll need that. You will need a, what are these called? These are, it's a sponge, but it's a tile sponge. So one side is a sponge and one side has this aggressive Scotch-Brite type of pad on it. This is going to be for washing it out. It's for blending. So you'll need that. You'll need some water. Then I'm going to be using hot mud. I'm going to be using hot mud to make this happen. So you'll also need some hot mud and you'll need some joint compound, okay? So hot mud comes in a bag, but honestly, you can get some joint compound. That will work too. The hot mud is just a faster process. Joint compound takes longer to dry, but because I'm doing this for obviously for an income, I need it to be quicker than what you're going to do it for. So you can also use joint compound for the whole thing. When you put on your mud and your tape and all that stuff, you can just wait and let it dry, come back. This is going to take you a little bit longer than what it would take me, but that's what you can do, okay? So you'll need some joint compound or some hot mud, depending on where your skills are at. Hot mud is a little bit harder to work with because it dries like this, okay? So you'll need that. Then either you're gonna use a handheld texture gun that will shoot texture on there. This, I doubt you're gonna buy this. But if you don't have this and you don't have access to that, you can always buy some texture in a can, okay? A couple things about doing this. This comes in 2 different types of products, okay? It comes in a water base and an oil base, okay? I'm gonna tell you to get oil base, okay? And then if you're in this area where I'm at, I'm in Chico, the majority of texture in Chico is orange peel. This is what this is, okay? There's orange peel, knockdown, skip trial, smooth wall, okay? So there's a few different ones, but the majority of what's in Chico is gonna be orange peel, okay? So this is dries in 5 minutes, wall texture, orange peel, okay? So that's that. So I would, if you go with the can texture, I would recommend the oil base. And the reason why is because the volume of it holds up, okay? When you spray it on, it stays thick like that. When you spray on water base, it has a tendency to kind of level out or run, okay? So I would say use the oil base, okay? And this oil base will get you the same texture or very close to it, okay? So I'll put that in the description as well. What else? You're gonna need some mesh tape. Give me just a second and I will grab the mesh tape. Here's some mesh tape. I'm not sure how it got yellow, but it comes in white, yellow, all these different things. So you'll need some mesh tape, okay? What else? So at this point, that's all you'll need, okay? If I forget something or if I figure out something along the way, I will show you. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm going to square this up, make a square, and I'm gonna cut this out, okay? So you'll need a pen as well. Some kind of pen, marker, Sharpie, okay? Okay, just like that. Maybe I should move the camera a little bit closer so you can see a little bit better, okay? Hopefully you can see that. So you'll need this. You're gonna wanna make a square, okay? So there's one option to do it like this. Another way I do it. So you can do this square, cut it out, okay? Sometimes, if you're doing it with a razor knife, cutting this out perfectly as a square doesn't work. It falls apart and it becomes a mess, okay? But the other thing I like to do that I've learned, you can use tape, okay? So let's say you mark your line, okay? You follow that line, this square, okay? You follow that square with your tape, okay? Like this. And I would put quite a few pieces of tape, you know, to build that up. But you're gonna make this as a template, okay? And then once you make that template, you peel it off like this. Peel that template off just like this. Matter of fact, you can even put top or something to kind of help you to know where it's at, okay? You could put top. And then you take this template and you bring it over to your drywall. Let's see if you can see this. I'll make sure you can see it in just a second. Just like that, okay? And then you're gonna put this template here. And guess what? You're gonna cut this out, okay? And then you're gonna take this and it will fit perfectly inside this hole, okay? So that's another way to do this, okay? Maybe we'll use this template, but. So there you have it, okay? I want you to also know when it comes to the sheetrock that you're gonna buy at Home Depot, pull it back out here fast. The sheetrock that you're going, I want you to know something very important. The sheetrock that you're gonna buy in Home Depot, okay? So it's a flat piece of sheetrock, okay? But at the ends of the drywall, at the sheetrock, it's gonna have a bevel, so it comes down smaller, okay? You don't have a bevel here. This is a perfectly square. This is the centerpiece of the drywall. Okay, let me show you. Okay, so maybe you can see it, but this bevels down, comes down smaller. That's when you put two sheets together, you know, when you're doing a whole house, and then they mud that and tape that, okay? But you're gonna be somewhere in the middle. There's not gonna be a bevel, okay? So you wanna make sure that you get a square to square, you know, they're both solid, okay? There's no bevel on the ends. Because if you come up with a bevel, if you put a bevel in here, you're gonna have an indentation, okay? That's gonna make it harder for you to get this whole repaired together. Okay, so let's get this cut out. I hope this makes sense. And if it doesn't make sense, you could always reach out to me, call me, and I'll explain it to you a little bit on the phone. Or you can just call me and I'll do it for you, okay? Okay, so let's get this cut out. There you have it. Now you have a square to put back in. Now you're gonna put that back in there, okay? So keep this. This is always important. I'll draw it onto there and I'll cut it out over there, okay? So, oh, you know what else is really cool about this tool? So it has this bracket here, up and down, okay? So you can take this tool, this bracket, you can bring it to your drywall, okay? You can put it here like this and level it out. You see how that tip doesn't go too far past the drywall. That way when you cut it out, you don't cut any wires behind it, okay? Like let's say there's a wire behind it and I can't see it, okay? I know this is just barely poking through the backside of that drywall. So when I cut it out, I can cut out in faith that I'm not gonna cut a wire back there or a pipe or some, you know, next thing you know, I got a catastrophic flood, you know what I mean? The world's flooding again or something. So you don't have to worry about that. That's what's cool about that. If you're using a razor knife, you don't have to worry about cutting out something back there. Okay, so moving forward, now we're gonna take our backing. Here's our backing, okay? We're going to take this backing. We are going to take our drill. This is the first time I'm used this, so bear with me. You're going to use this backing. You're going to put it just like this, but on the inside of the wall. Let's see if we can get that a little closer, okay? Again, you're going to take this backing and you're going to place it inside the wall, okay? Just like this, partially on this side of the wall and partially on the exposed side, okay? And then your drywall, That went pretty well. Oh, that went horribly. I didn't catch it. Okay. Let's get another one. Hold on. Well, that mistakes happen. Okay. So when the next time someone comes and does a hole repair, they'll have a piece of backing down in there. Okay. So I just went and got a drill. Yeah. So anyways, you want to hold that. And when you screw these in, when you put your screw in, I want you to go just past the surface of the drywall, okay? And I'll show you what I mean. So your screw, is just past the surface of the drywall, okay? That way when you mud over it, it feels it, okay? Hopefully this stuff makes sense to you. If it doesn't, get a new profession. So we're gonna put one of these on both sides. Just don't drop this, okay? Okay, boom, just like that. Let's get the other one. Just past it, okay? This is gonna make a mess in your house. Your wife is gonna be upset. Okay? So let's back out. Perfect. So now we got our hole cut out, okay? And we have some backing, a backing board, so we can stick a drywall to that, okay? So let me come over here. I'm gonna cut this drywall real quick and get our piece. Okay, so now you have your piece of drywall that you cut out square. And let's see what way that's gonna go in. Perfect. Just like that. You see there's still gaps there. That's fine, guys. No problem. But that's gonna work, okay? Let's get the rigid edges. You know, get that paper. Get this paper off. Hopefully you guys can afford a sharper knife, and I can. Okay, so anyways, so that's what you're gonna do. So now you have your drywall, piece of drywall, and it's gonna fit in there just like yay. You're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4 screws, and you're gonna drill those in there so that piece of drywall will stick to it. Okay, so here we go. Again, you're gonna only you're just gonna go past the surface of the drywall with the screw, okay? Don't go too deep. That's not gonna be a good thing. And don't get too close to the edge. Don't get too close to your edge of the piece of drywall you cut, because it'll bust, and we don't want that, okay? Just like this, guys. Now that's solid. Nice and flush, okay? Just like that, okay? So now the tricky part happens. Now we're gonna get some hot mud. You might use, you may use joint compound, but I'm gonna use some hot mud. I'm gonna mix it up, and I'm going to fill this with some hot mud, okay? Get a little hot mud, okay? Some water. It'll mix this together. I might have put too much water actually. You guys ever made pancakes? That's normally what you get it to the consistency of pancakes. If you never made pancakes before, don't even attempt to do this holy prayer because you're not qualified. You're not qualified. If you can't make macaroni and cheese, don't attempt this. You're not qualified. A little bit more water. Okay, just like that. Okay, got my hot mud mixed up. Now I gotta start moving kind of quick because it's gonna start getting hot. It's gonna get hard real fast, okay? So let me put some tape. Put my tape on here. Put your tape over your joint, over the holes, the separation between the two drywalls, okay? Of course, this always goes harder when you're on video, opposed to doing it, just doing it. My mud's getting hot, okay? I should have cut my tape prior. What can you do? I'm only human. I'm new. I don't know what to do. You know what I mean? But we'll get it right. Get it right, and we'll make it look good. Just like that, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen. Now you're gonna get your 12-inch mud knife. Okay, just want you to know there is a certain way to use a mud knife. Okay, see the bevel in it? Okay, there's a bow in it, so it goes like this. Where the bow is at, that's where you want to put your mud. Okay, and you're gonna just float right over this, just like that. Just like this. Okay, look at that beauty. Okay, it's a little cold in my shop right now. Thankfully, help me with this mud. So we'll put a couple coats on. Okay. Or you know what? I might be able to do one coat. Nah, probably not. I'm good, but I ain't that good. I'm a painter, not a drywall guy. Look at that. Look at this beauty right here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on a light coat like I'm doing, okay? I'm gonna give this a second. I'm gonna put a light coat, but I'm gonna build it up over the patch. I hope this is making sense to you guys, or you guys can follow along. Okay, so I start kind of pressing hard here, and as I go across the patch, I lighten it up. I lighten up the amount of pressure that I'm putting on it. Got some boogers in there. Probably should have mixed it a little bit better. You won't have this problem if you're using the pre-mixed joint compound, okay? Because it's already gonna be wet and it's already gonna be ready to go. Okay, so there you have it, just like that. Okay, so I'm gonna give that a minute. I'm gonna throw this I'm gonna throw this hot mud out, because it's gonna be no good in about 5 minutes. So I'll throw this out. Matter of fact, I'll put it right there. Clean up this mud knife. Let this dry. I'll let this dry, then we'll come back, put another coat on it. We'll wash out the perimeter, and then it's ready for texture, man. So that's how simple it can be. That's how simple it is. Okay, it seems like it's simple, but once you do it, you realize there's a reason we pay these guys to do it. So we'll get that done, put another coat on, get it prepared for texture, and we'll texture it, we'll examine it, and next thing you know, you'll be a professional at doing hole repairs. So it has dried enough to work with it now. It's a little bit wet still. You can still see a little dark color. That means it's still a little wet. Now, if this is joint compound, which you're gonna just wanna throw a box fan or a little space heater inside the house and just let it sit there until it completely dries out, okay? This is hot mud, so it dries a little bit faster, okay? So this is actually really smooth. Well, smoother than I expected, but it's pretty smooth. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna need to put another coat on there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take I forgot to tell you, you want a little fine, little sponge sander, little piece of, whatever you call it, man. And you just wanna roll over the top of it, okay? And you just wanna smooth it out as much as possible, okay? Get the edges. It's nice and smooth, just like that. Yeah, I'm gonna put one more coat on it of some hot mud, okay? You'll definitely need to put another coat on it if you're using joint compound. You'll need 2 coats for sure. So I'll throw another coat on here, okay? Nothing too crazy, just like that, okay? Dust it. Okay? Make sure you put something down, because I don't want your wife upset with you or your husband upset with you when he comes home. There's dust all over the house, okay? Normally I have a tent and all kind of crazy stuff. So let me mix up just a little bit more hot mud. And we'll put one more coat on there. Let that dry and I'll be ready for texture. Tell yourself just to make a little bit, not make too much. So I'm gonna put a little less water in it this time. The least amount of water you put, the faster it will dry when you're using hot mud, okay? Even when you're using joint compound and you throw it in your in your mud pan, make sure you mix it up. Get the air out of it. Give it a little nice little friendly mix. No problem. Working with mud, it can get messy. Okay? Keep it clean as possible. Okay, so let's find our perfect. Oh shoot, I shouldn't have did that. Anyways. Okay, so we're gonna just start from the outside and come in. Get some mud on there. And when you're doing this, our hole is here, okay? From the center of your hole, 12 inches out is how far you want to go. From the center of your hole, this is not 12 inches, but you want to go out a significant amount. And the reason you want to go out kind of far is because it helps the blending process once we go to sand this, okay? And it helps hide that hole repair. Okay, sometimes there's indications that the hole repair was done, okay? But we're gonna minimize it as much as possible, okay? Smooth it out. Oh boy, that's gonna be a nice one. That's gonna be a nice one. Okay, Look how beautiful that's coming out. Beautiful, man. Okay? It is coming out beautiful. You know why it's coming out beautiful? I know you know why. Because Chico's favorite painter is doing it. You know what I mean? Come on, man. I didn't get that name just because. I got it because this is the action that I'll be making happen. Okay? So there we go. Look at that. So we'll let this dry out. I'll bring you back for one more time. We'll sand it. And we'll get it textured. Okay? Oh, you know what one of the #1 rules is too? Just so you're aware of, and this is what was hard for me when I first started doing this, is don't work the mud too much, man. Just get it on there. Do what you can. Do what you can and leave it alone. You know, in the least amount of mud, if you're not a professional, the least amount of mud is best, okay? Build it up, okay? Don't put a bunch of mud on there and then you gotta sand all that mud off. So the least amount, just put little light coats. If you're doing this yourself as a DIY, just put light coats, man. A light coat, let it dry. A light coat, let it dry. Maybe even a light coat, sand, and then another coat. Light coat, sand, another coat. Build it up, you know what I mean? That way, if you put a bunch on, you're gonna have a hell of a time getting it off. So it's not always the most, more is important. Light, sand, light, sand, light, sand, okay? So I'm gonna leave this like this. This looks absolutely great, looks amazing. We'll come back, we'll sand the center, we'll wash out the edges, and we'll texture it, and we will make this thing absolutely beautiful. I promise you. Yeah, I'll explain the sanding process as soon as I get done. All right, guys, we had a malfunction. GoPros, they're a pain in the ass. But anyways, where I was at is that the biggest mistake that I see a lot of people that do patches is that when they sound the outside, they don't do one critical step, okay? This is the point of drywall, okay? When you're doing a patch, let's just start with this, okay? Let's say this was a solid piece of drywall. Obviously the hole's there. Let's say it's solid, okay? And you have your drywall. It's all textured, okay? So what you want to do is we have a solid piece of mud on top of this textured drywall. So your mud, you want it to be solid, light solid, less, and you want it to disappear inside the grooves of the rest of the drywall, okay? So you want your mud to go from heavy to very light to disappear to smooth into this. And the way you do that is with the wet sponge, and you wet sponge the perimeter, okay? You don't make it all disappear, you just make it lightly disappear, kind of smooth into it, okay? So we'll sand this part first. Okay, matter of fact, we'll hit the heavy edges, okay? And then go in, okay? We'll lightly hit the center. This is kind of soft, so you don't want to go too crazy with it, you know what I mean? But the center is critical to be as smooth as possible. Just like this. And that is beautifully smooth. When I close my eyes, I can't feel any imperfections on that, okay? So now, we're gonna go with the outside. Bring out your sponge, okay? And you're gonna use the aggressive side, okay? And you're gonna just ride around the edge, okay? And I'll get the camera over here and I will show you what it is I'm talking about. Even reactivate the mud, get it wet again. The soft side. Okay. Like this. Just like that, okay? You get the aggressive side and just hit that outer edge. This is critical, guys. This is what's gonna help make your patch completely disappear. And that's why I tell you to do a mud knife out on both sides, every direction. That way you have enough room out here to wash it away, okay? If we get too close to the patch, we can only wash so much off, and then we're in a bad position, so don't do that. Float it out a little ways out, okay? Just like that. Just like this. Oh yeah. Wipe it down. This, my folks, is ready to texture. Okay? We're ready to texture that. Oh, almost fell down. Job site trash needs to get cleaned up. Okay? Check it out. Oh yeah. Okay. Another critical thing I want to tell you. This patch that we removed is very important to keep. The reason you want to keep this is if you don't have your color in a can on site, you'll need to get it matched. You're gonna want to take this to Sherwin-Williams, Benjamin Moore, Dunn Edwards, whatever paint companies in your area. You want to take it there and have the paint matched specifically to this right here. They will match this. They got like a 99% accuracy, okay? And by getting this matched, you will now have the color of your wall. And by having the color of your wall, you can paint this area, blend it in, and it will disappear forever, okay? So there you have it. So now we're gonna be ready to texture. Let me get this can of texture real quick. More than likely, this is what you're gonna use to texture this wall, okay? Before using this can of texture, what I want you to do is I want you to stick this inside under some hot water and just let hot water run on it. What that's gonna do is gonna heat the content inside up, and it's gonna pressurize it, so when you spray, it's gonna blow out, okay? And it's gonna give you your best results, okay? So before you spray this on here, just to let you know that there's an adjuster here from really light texture to heavy texture, okay? But you don't want to just start spraying it on there. You want to kind of find your happy medium, okay? So what I did is I placed a piece of paper on this wall right here next to the area that I'm gonna texture, and I am gonna spray a little of this on there, and watch how I do it. I'm gonna spin it, I'm gonna go in circles while I do it. But I'm gonna spray a little texture on there, and I'm gonna try to see if I can match. I'm gonna try to, this is a little bit heavier. So I push a little bit lighter, and it doesn't break it up as much, okay? So this is what you're gonna do. And when you texture, you're gonna do exactly what I'm doing. You're gonna spin it in circles, just like this, all around your textured area, okay? All around your textured area. You're gonna spray that, and you're gonna come out here. You're gonna texture all the way out here, okay? Heavy here, lighter, 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 and then it disappears. Okay, that's what you're gonna do. Okay, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get my handheld, and I'm gonna texture it with that. Okay. So this beautiful thing here. Oh, this beautiful thing here. I'm just gonna shoot it on here, but check it out. So I'm gonna start in the middle, and I'm gonna go in a circle. And I'm gonna just pump all the way around it. Hey. Just like this. Okay? Just like that, gentlemen, and that patch has disappeared, okay? And that is what you call perfection. I will put a fan on this. Oh, the texture, the mud that I'm using inside that machine is joint compound. I'm not using hot mud in that thing. That thing will never work. I'm using joint compound. Joint compound has a glue in it, so it helps stick to this, okay? So I'm gonna put some fans on this. I'm gonna let this dry. I already have the paint for this. I'm a painting contractor. I got hundreds of gallons in here I gotta get rid of. But, so I just grabbed some of that. We're gonna paint this. We're gonna check out the results when it's done, and we're gonna see if we made that hole disappear. So, snap of the finger. All right, guys, we are dry enough to get some paint on this. So I'm gonna paint this. I'll show you guys the end results, man. So if you're not gonna use a primer, just go ahead and put a nice heavy coat on, first coat. Let that dry, and then come back and put a second coat, and it'll blend in. If you just put one coat on here, unfortunately the patch will flash. And what that means is that the new texture that you just applied, it will suck up the paint. It will suck up the paint, and it will kind of kill down the sheen. So if you have a sheen on your wall, you're gonna want to put two coats. If your walls are flat, it'll blend in because it's not gonna have nothing to suck up. So when you paint your patch, okay, I don't want you just to paint the area that you patched. Okay, you're gonna paint it just like I did, and then you're gonna feather it out. So you're gonna go from heavy to light, just like the sanding, just like the sponging, heavy to light, and this will also help blend in the paint. Okay, I'm barely rolling it on, I'm just setting it on there. Okay. And there you guys have it, man. There's your patch, and it is gone. I hope that helps you guys. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing, how I did this, and how I made that disappear. If you guys have any questions, like I said, just reach out to me. I'm gonna put in the description all the stuff that I used to make this happen. Well, no, I'm gonna put all the stuff in the description that you can use to make this happen. I'm obviously not gonna give you the stuff that I use because it's gonna be much more expensive. And if you're only doing one, two, couple hole repairs in your house, you don't need all the tools that I used. It's gonna cost you thousands to get that. This right here, I'm gonna give you, it's probably gonna cost you a few $100, couple $100. It might even be cheaper just to hire someone to do it. But if you wanna have it, and you know that you're gonna have a hole repair in the future to do, it might be worth investing in doing it yourself, or having the stuff on hand to do it yourself. So there we go, guys. Chico's favorite painter. If you can do me a favor, like and subscribe. If you're on Nextdoor, put me down as one of your favorites. If you're on Facebook, friend me. If you're on Instagram, give me a whatever they do on there, and share this with your folks, man, because this knowledge is for a lot of people. Anybody can use this anywhere in the world, or at least in the US that we use drywall. Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys' support. Chico's favorite painter, SM Painting. Holla at your boy, man.